Hello, it's Miss Seichter. I will be showing you how to create an ink and watercolor portrait project with grid drawing. So step number one is to create as many photo references as possible for this project because very few of those photo references will actually have the criteria that will meet a good portrait project. So I took about 30 and emailed the best one to my school email, and you should do something very similar. Take lots of pictures and pick the best one and either email it to your school email or a parent's email because you need to access that picture from a computer that can print because you can't print from your phone to the printer. You need to do that from a computer. So email that to yourself. I've already done that step. So I'm going to go to griddrawingtool.com and go to step number one, which is upload. I'm going to click choose file. And for you, if you downloaded your picture from an email, it will most likely be in your downloads folders. I've already downloaded it and saved it to a different location. So I'm going to click that picture. Now, what makes a good photo reference is it has to have a good pose. So choosing a pose that's a little bit more dynamic and less static is best. Diagonals are great. You can kind of see based on the background, everything's slanted at an angle. I edited it so it was a little bit more tilted. Dramatic lighting is good. So you want some dramatic shadows and some highlights. And to create that, I took this picture in a closet where the lights were off, and I shone a lamp in my face to create some of those shadows. Then you need to crop it so it has other good compositional decisions. Like maybe you want good balance. Maybe you want leading lines. Maybe you want rule of thirds where some landmark in your picture lines up with the grid marks of rule of thirds. So I've taken that picture, but griddrawingtool.com gives you some other options. You can rotate it if it was a little bit at an angle. You can crop it if you haven't cropped it on your phone. I've already cropped my picture from my phone before emailing it to myself. And you can adjust it. Now, your phones have the ability to adjust these pictures themselves and edit them themselves. But in case you can't or you use a different device, you can bump up the contrast so that the highlights are brighter. You can make it overall brighter or overall darker with the brightness or the saturation. I've already done that on my phone, so there's no need for me to use this step. The last step is to apply your grid. So I have a picture that is taller than it is long. It's a portrait style picture. So if you have a picture reference that is taller, you're going to go up to 7 boxes wide. Some of you may have picture references that are taken the long way. They are longer than they are tall. They're the landscape version of a picture. If you have a longer picture, you're going to select 10 boxes. But I have a tall picture, so I'm choosing 7. You can choose what color you want your grid to be, depending on what will show up better in your picture reference. Red is a good option for this. I'm just going to choose white and apply grid, and it will make it so that it is 7 boxes wide. Now, in order to print this, I click download. It downloads to my computer, and I can click on it and have the option to print. Now, printing this is an optional step, but it's recommended. It will make things much easier for you. If you don't have access to a printer, you can just look at your computer while you're doing your grid drawing. But I like to actually have the physical thing in front of me so that I can make little notes and make little marks on my drawing that will help make it easier. And when you print, printing in color is best because it will have those darker shadows show up a little bit easier if they're in color. However, if you can't print it in color, black and white will work. So I am going to print my picture reference and move on to the next steps.